Coming home, coming home, never more to roam. Coming from wide thine arms above, Lord, I'm coming. After finishing a revival in a Midwest town, the minister boarded the train. And on his journey, he began to talk to the young man next to him. And he talked about the weather, just casual conversation. But he didn't get a response. And as he looked over to the young man, he noticed a troubled face with tears in his eyes. And he said, "Son, I'm a minister. I'm a man of God. And I'd love to help you. I'd love to talk to you if you just want to talk." And this was the young man began to tell him this story. About 2 years ago, I'd gotten into all kind of trouble. I'd done everything a young man shouldn't do. I went so far as to strike my father in the face. And my father comes to me and he said, "Son, it's going to break your mom's heart, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave home." And he said, "I did." But he said about 2 weeks ago, passing by an old storefront church, I heard the music of a revival. And as I sat in that service, as the minister opened up the altars, I went down and gave my life to Jesus. And he says, "Today I'm on this train because I'm on my way home." And he said, when the Lord saved me, he changed my heart. And he said, "I want to go see my mom and daddy so bad." And he said, "I'm on my way home." And he said, "Preacher said, well, how do you know that it's going to be okay for you to get off the train?" And he said, "We've lived by these tracks all of my life." And he said, "On our property by the tracks is an apple tree." And he said, "I simply told my mom and daddy how sorry I was, and how much I loved them and missed them. I said, if it's all right for me to get off that train, would you just tie one white rag on that old apple tree?" And he said, "Preacher, we're almost there." And he said, "I'm so afraid. Would you just look for me?" And that old preacher stood off, took his handkerchief out, and wiped the dust off that old train window. And as that preacher turned around, he had a smile on his face from ear to ear. And he said, "Son, you don't have anything to worry about." He said, "There's white rags all over that old apple tree." Oh, but he said, "That's not all, son." He said, "There's an old gray-haired mom and daddy standing beneath that apple tree. And they've got a white sheet, and they're waving it in the air. And they're just saying, 'Come on home, son. Son, come on home.'" Amen. Isn't that just like God today? No matter how far down the road we've traveled, no matter how far steep in sin we are, all we have to do is come to him and ask for forgiveness, and he'll let you come. Is there anybody here today that needs to come home? Is there anybody here that just needs to get a little closer to him? Here's your time. Open wide thine arms above, Lord, I'm coming home. Coming home, coming home. Never more to open wide thine arms above, Lord, I'm coming home. Amen. Thank you. Y'all have been a blessing to me.